Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. My name is Heather, and today I'm going to make this little stuffed bear. I got this kit from Dollarama for $4. I found it back in August, September. I found it when I was doing school supply shopping for my kids, and I thought this was cute. It's got the little Valentine ribbon, so I thought I would save it for Valentine's Day. Today is already January 26th, so we're about 3-ish weeks till Valentine's Day. So I thought this would be a good first Valentine craft of the season. I'm just going to open it up. And all it says is scissors required. So it says you should have everything in the kit. So it says 28 pieces. I'm not quite sure what they count as 28 pieces, but we'll find out. So there is the stuffing. The instruction booklet, which is always handy to have when you've never made anything like this before. I've never made any teddy bears or toys or anything. So, open this up. I've got some material. Looks like the thread and buttons and everything. And then another piece of instructions. Okay, looks like, let's see, 2 sets of instructions. They are pretty much the same, just one's a double-sided, well, it's still double-sided paper, but this one's just a little bit bigger, easier to read. This one is just a little bit, a little more to... So the writing's a little smaller, but better, larger diagrams. I'm just going to set the instructions aside. I'm just going to open up this bag and see what pieces there are. Okay, so the box says you get all these pieces. I open it up and it's one piece, but it's already mostly cut out. I guess I have to finish cutting this out. That's going to take a few minutes. Yeah, it's going to take a few minutes to cut all these pieces out. So I will get to that. I'm just going to open up this other bag here. And I was just at the Dollarama just a couple days ago, and I did see they had more of these out. So I also had the soft monkey, which I'd never seen before either. So this would be fun to build these. I think, oops, next time I go to the dollar store, if they have the soft monkey one, I might grab it. Let's see. Okay, all these little pieces here. Yeah, I have never made anything that takes the little eyes or the nose. They look like little plastic screws, and there's a little plastic backing for them. So I'm not sure how these, I mean, I know how they go together. I mean, they're like screws, they screw, but I'm not quite sure which way this little piece would go. I will read the instructions when I get to that point. I'm just going to set these aside so they don't roll off my table. Actually, I'm just going to set them in this little jar I have over here, so they don't roll off the table. Okay, I got this nice piece of ribbon here, although I may not use this ribbon. I've got some nice Valentine ribbon that I was looking for something to use, so I might save this piece of ribbon and use ribbon I have. I'm not quite sure yet. Okay, there's some thread, and these would be the inside ear pieces, I think. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Or are these for their paws? Okay, yeah, it's for his feet. Okay, that's his feet. Okay, so I guess first things first will be just finishing cutting these pieces out. I'm just going to grab my scissors, which they were just right beside me. Got the box for them. I thought they were sitting here. They are not beside me. That means they're over by my sewing machine. So I just got to go and grab my scissors. Okay, got my scissors now. I'm just gonna snip these couple little pieces out. This is gonna take a few minutes to do. All I'm gonna do is just cut. They've got it mostly cut, but there's a few little spots here and there where it's not fully cut through. So I'm just going to cut out all these little pieces. And then I will be back because this is going to take quite a few minutes to cut all these little pieces out. So I will be back when I get all these pieces. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 6, about 16 or 17 pieces to cut out. So I'll be back when I get them all cut out. Alright, so I've got all the pieces laid down in front of me. I've got them so they've got the backing shiny side up and the furry side down, because when they're like this, I can't tell some of the pieces together, so I'm just, the shapes of them, it looks so similar. So when they're this way, I can see the shape they're supposed to be. So my first step is I need the 2 head pieces. Well, I guess there's 3 head pieces. I'm just going to move these all back up here. I've kind of got them in the same order that they're in the diagram, so I know what pieces I have to work with. Oops, wrong piece. Okay, so first thing I gotta find are the 2 head pieces, and well, I guess there's 3 head pieces. So first these 2, and this long one. So like these 2. So you can see how when they're this way, I can't tell what they are, but when I have them with the backing, I can see the shape of them. So step 1, took me a while to figure this step 1, 2, and 3 out. Once I get past the putting the head together, everything else seems straightforward. So I was just trying to figure out these first couple steps. Didn't even untie the thread yet. I thought okay. That piece of this thread. I'm not quite sure how long of a piece I need to do this first step. There's my scissors. Okay. It came with a needle and thread, so I'm gonna just, they've got it taped on the needle all taped and secure, so I can't even get it out. Okay, so it says, firstly, sew each piece of the teddy's face as shown in the picture below. So first step is you take the back side of his and you're supposed to stitch these 2 pieces right here where they make the V. You're supposed to stitch them together on both the pieces, so I will do that, and then sew the 2 pieces together. I don't make these type of stuff. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this would be like an interesting craft to make. I've never made stuffed animals like this before. I mean, I've tried to make the sock monkeys out of actual socks. I will find them and show them to you. They're about half finished. I started them about like 5 years ago, but they were good enough for my kids at the time. Okay, so I just got to stitch. Just want to make sure I got this facing the right direction. So I just got to stitch these 2 pieces together. I don't quite get why I have to stitch these together, why they had to cut them like that. Like I said, I don't make toys. So, stuffed animals, things like that. I mean, I said I made 2 sock monkeys at one point a few years ago. I've got them. I will try to find them. I'm not sure where they are at the moment. And then usually I've made stuff out of socks where I've taken socks that have images on them, and I have stitched the outside of the image and cut it down and stuffed it. You kind of get a little toy. Like I've done that with the Frozen socks. So you kind of get like Elsa, Anna, and Olaf. Olaf was a very popular little character that all boys and girls in my day home both loved. So I've done that, but I've not actually made like stuff like this. When I saw this, I'm like, oh, that would be so cute to be able to make this for Valentine's Day. When I was at Dollarama a week or so ago with my daughter, they had brought these in, so they were probably with the Valentine stuff. So these were just Valentine bear got missed last Valentine, so I was able to get it. I said it was the end of August, beginning of September, and I knew if I just wait, I can make it for Valentine's Day. And then I was there, and they had the sock monkey one, and I thought, oh, it might be cute. I'll start with this bear and see how easy it is and decide if I want to go back and buy the actual sock monkey version. So I'm not really quite sure. It doesn't really give any instructions on how to sew this. I'm just trying to look at the diagram, and they just have it kind of sewing. So I'm just stitching kind of like a standard blanket stitch. So I'm just going through the two pieces of material and then through this. So it's kind of like every stitch is knotted on its own. This is my standard stitch that I use when they don't specify as to what stitch to use. And then when I get this one stitched, then the next thing is to take the two head pieces and stitch them together. Just got a little bit long thread here to snip that little piece off. Okay, just gonna make a little knot here just so none of my stitching comes undone. Now I put these pieces right sides together, and I'm just going to now stitch this all together. Just got to figure out where it says to stitch. And I just got to stitch from the nose down to where the face would be. So I just got to figure out where that is on here. So I guess I just stitch from this nose just down to there. So I'm just going to stitch from here around down to here to stitch these two pieces together. This is tricky because the fur is kind of slippery, so it just kind of wants to, just doesn't want to stay for me. So I'm just gonna do this. What did I do? That didn't work. I don't know what happened. Thought I stitched and my stitches kind of slid out on itself. I don't know. I pulled. Okay. Just trying to make sure I get through both pieces of the material. Not quite sure how long this is going to take me to stitch. So I will be back when I get this stitched together, because I said I'm pulling through and the thread is just not looping like I thought it would be. It's just, I don't know, just very slippery material to work with. Figure out how much further I have to go through. So I'm just going to keep stitching, and I will be back when I get these two pieces stitched, because I think I'm going crooked. I feel like I've kind of messed something up here. I may have to undo this because it just, maybe not. Oh, maybe I got it. Thought maybe I had missed. Thought I lined up wrong, but no, now I'm at the end and now I can tell, no, I didn't mess it up. I don't have to undo the stitches. I'm good. Thought I was going to have to undo this whole row of stitches and start again, but no, it looks like I actually have this lined up pretty good. Just going to do a couple more stitches here and tie off with a good knot. Sometimes when I don't trust myself, I will stitch forward and then I will just go back between my stitches, because I don't trust that my stitches are going to hold. I don't trust my knots. I always like triple and more than that tie my knots, just because I don't trust my knots sometimes. So I'm just going to snip this up here. I'm just going to tie these two together, because so this is very important that this bear stays together. February 14th is Valentine's Day, and then February 15th is my husband and our wedding anniversary. So this year we'll be married for 9 years. We just celebrated our 13th anniversary together, and then in February it'll be 9 years that we've been married. I'm just going to snip this a little bit off. And there, I've got that done. I just want to see if I turn it this way. See, I'm starting to get the bear's face here. It's starting to look like a bear now, or at least something. Just pulling the fur. Okay, because now my next step is got this to here. Now this is where it gets tricky for me, because now I got to figure this out. Okay, so now I've got to stitch this piece on, and now I got to do this one side at a time. I've got to stitch this head piece on. I just got to make sure this is the right way. Pointed. I don't know, doesn't look really pointed, but I guess this is. Okay, goes this way. Okay, so now I've got to stitch this together. So I got to stitch this side down to where I had just past where I had stitched these first little parts on both sides. So I will be back when I get that done, because that's going to be a little bit tricky for me to hold this and stitch at the same time and talk. So I will just going to finish up his face, which is just this one more piece. Just have to stitch the left side and the right side of his two head pieces, and I'll be back when I get those stitched in place. All right, I've got the head 3 pieces all stitched together. I got my little pocket thing here. So now step 4, turn the head to face forwards. Let's see, where's the front? I don't know, I gotta figure out which is the front. Okay, I think this is the front. Okay, this is the front. Cut 3 holes for the eyes and nose. Insert plastic eyes and nose. Okay, so I got to turn this way. So this is if it actually looks like a little teddy bear head, and it does look like a little. Actually, right now it looks like a little paw. So I just got to figure out where this is the back. This is the front. Got to figure out where I want his nose and the eyes. So let's just make it 3 little snips. Now this is where I'm scared to do. I'm scared to cut this, because wherever I make it, that's where his face is gonna be. So I just gotta figure this out. Let's go up. So about here will be his nose. Just gonna make a little snip for his nose. There. See, I don't know if I cut through all that. Don't think I did. Okay, well, I'm just gonna grab the little pieces anyways. I just kind of put them in this little, it's actually a salt lamp, but there's no candle in it at the moment, so I just thought make a good little jar. Let me just find, I need his nose piece here. Let's see, just clipped it, but now I don't know if I actually cut through all that. So I heard it snip, but I don't think I got. Let's see, didn't cut through all that. Just gonna see if I did. Partially cut through. Let's see, just gotta cut a little more of this. Oh, just about cut my finger. There. There, now it's through. And then we put the little cap piece on. Now he's got his nose. I think the nose is going upside down. His nose is kind of buried. Just kind of went upside down. Just gonna have to turn it around. There. Oops. I've never worked with these type of things before. What did I do? I don't know. It just went right through. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure this out. Made a little snip, but somehow the whole nose fell right through. Just gonna have to pull this back out and do this again. I gotta take this little cap piece off of here. If I can. I may have wrecked the nose already. Let's see. I gotta take this apart. I'll be back when I get this taken apart, but maybe I'll just do the eyes first. I line up where I want the eyes. Then I can get the nose back in place. I just dropped the eye on the floor. So I will be back when I get the little cap off the nose and I find the other eye. All right, so I'm not gonna cut. I know it says to make those little cuts. I'm not going to right now. I'm just going to figure out where I want the eyes to sit. I want one to go there and one to go here. Make sure that's there. So that's right where I want the one eye. I'm just gonna turn it from this side and I'm just gonna put a little snip slowly through that, so I'm not making a big cut like I think that's what the problem was. I think I made just too big of a cut. I went to put the nose on. There's the one eye. And then and the other eye, go right here. I'm just going to go very slowly, just do a couple little snips and just kind of, basically I'm not trying to cut the fabric, I'm just, there. Didn't really have to cut the fabric, just had to make a little gap between those a little bit wider so that could fit in. And then he needs his nose. The nose is going to go right here. didn't drop it on the floor this time. His nose is going to go right there. Just have to cut a little bit of the stitching. Just enough to get this to come through. And then put the cap on like that. And there's his nose. Now he's got his little face. Okay, now we gotta open the stuffing and we gotta put some stuffing in here. Not quite sure how much stuffing to put in his head, but we'll just put some stuffing in. So he starts to look like a little animal of some kind. I can always add more stuffing as I get to next steps if I need to. I'm just going to leave it right there because now he's got stuffing in his head. I'm going to set that aside, and then the next step is to take the ears. Now we got to do the 2 ears. So we've got front and back pieces for both ears. So I've got these pieces, so I'm just going to stitch them together from the one corner all the way around to the other, leaving the bottom open for both. So I will be back when I get this done. Then when I get them stitched, then I will fill them, and then I get to attach his ears. So when he gets his ears, it'll probably start to look more like a bear. Right now he kind of looks like a cross between Chewbacca and an owl. And then pretty soon he's going to have his nice fluffy ears. And he'll start to really look like hopefully he starts to look like a bear soon. So I will be back when I get his ears stitched together. All right, so now I've got the 2 ears stitched together. So I'm just gonna rotate them right side out and add some stuffing. And now I have to stitch the ears in place. That might be too much stuffing for this little ear. And now I get to stitch the ears in place. Just gonna figure out where the ears go. I'm using this picture here as a reference. I'm gonna say the ears don't really look like ears. They just kind of look like these little blobs. I say it kind of starting to look like more like a little dog, not really a teddy bear. It's kind of looks like one of those cute little puppies that are about the size of a cat. Okay, so now I just gotta, I think I still got too much stuffing in this one ear here. There, that's better. That's better. I just had way too much stuffing. Be like, no way I could be able to stitch that on. So now I'm just going to gotta get some more thread and stitch the ears on. And that means I'm on step 6. And it says you should have this bear made in 12 steps. So according to this, I'm halfway through making this little bear. I'm just gonna grab some more thread here. Oh, what did I do? I just tangled all this thread. It's not really giving me any instructions on this thread, whether to keep it as a single piece or multi-strands. It didn't say anything, so I'm just using it as a single strand. So I'm just taking that came with the emery floss, so I'm just breaking it into smaller, thinner strips, because I figure if I need to make it thicker, I can always, add more thread later if it's falling apart. But this is just a decor piece, basically. So all my crafts that I'm working on now are just going to all be Valentine. So I've got my Valentine gnomes that I want to make coming up in the next few days here. And I had some other ones I want to make, but we got to get a little closer to Valentines for some of the things I want to make. But I figure I can start with this little bear here because he's just so cute. Oops. Look at that. I just pulled the thread all the way through the whole thing. This isn't working. I'm not really much of a sewer. I do a few crafts here and there. I do a few things with my sewing machine I just got. I haven't really made anything really with it since I made the other couple items. Just thought it'd be fun to have a nice sewing machine, so I'd have the option to do a few things. Just trying to figure out how they say to stitch this in place. I don't really know. I'm just supposed to come up, kind of hide the thread through here. Which after making it so far, this little bear, I now appreciate all the little store-bought toys that I buy. I get at the dollar store for nothing. Realizing I never really thought about it, but somebody actually has to make all those little toys. I mean, I know people make them, but I never really thought about how much work really goes into making a little toy until I'm making this one. There's a lot of stitching involved and a lot of little Did I just pull? Oh, I just pulled the thread completely through. Okay. Pulled a little too hard. I don't know. Not quite sure how I'm supposed to stitch this on. As I'm having trouble finding the edge of this material and the edge of that material and trying to stitch it in place. I guess I just have to go a little slower. Take some time here just to figure this out. Okay, that's better because I'm actually, with my thumb inside, I'm actually getting down inside because I can feel it touching my fingers, so that's good. I know right where I'm stitching now. Just going to stitch this ear on, and then I will stitch the other ear on. And I said once I get the ear stitched on, I said I'm halfway done making the little teddy bear. I say it says this is for ages 6+. I honestly can't think of any 6-year-olds I know who could do this. I mean, I'm sure there are kids who, little kids who know how to sew, but to be honest, I definitely would need some type of adult supervision to do this. At least the kids I know. Just because I'm not a sewer, I haven't taught my kids how to sew. Got this stuffing is coming out of his ear. It didn't get stitched inside. I'll just come back over and just kind of fix that. Just got to do another little stitch over here because his ear is falling off. If you can see the stuffing, his ear is falling off, I guess. There's one ear. Not really. I don't know, I think his ear's supposed to be up higher than that. I don't know. Let's see. Pull it up higher. I don't know. I can see the stuffing, so I'm probably going to have to clip some of the excess stuffing out. What did I just do? Just pulled his ear. It just doesn't even look right now. I said, still, it looks more like a dog. Maybe when I get the other ear stitched on and I've got too much stuffing here, it's all kind of like showing through. So I'm just going to snip, or I put the scissors right here. I'm just going to snip some of this extra stuffing off of there so it's not sticking out. Just fluff his ear a bit. Kind of. Yeah, I think his ear's supposed to be up higher than I've got it. I think I had it higher and then I pulled too tight at the bottom. I pulled his ear down. Yeah, I think I'm just going to clip this ear off because I've got it totally in the wrong spot. And as I'm pulling, I'm just pulling his ear and it's just still like not looking quite right. So I think I'm just going to take this ear off and try again. So I will be back when I get his ear stitched on because I don't know what I did. So I've never done this before. I've never made any little teddy bear or anything like that. So, okay. I don't even know where my stitches are. I can't even see the stitches. I don't want to cut the wrong thing because I don't want to cut his head. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to reline up the ears and stitch them in place, and then I will be back when I get this part done, because this is just, yeah, because his ear is like way down where his cheeks should be, so definitely not in the right spot. So I will be right back. Alright, so I got both the ears stitched on. This one just needs to be a little straightened out. So I'll just have to add a couple more stitches just to rotate it down just a little bit. I'll do that in a few moments, but I'm just going to set the head aside. It's starting to actually look like something. Okay. I'm just going to set that aside, and next thing we have to use is the body pieces. So it's these ones here. Just about lost the needle. Just got to figure out which is the top, which is the bottom. The wider is the bottom, the smaller is the top. So first thing to do is same with the head. We just have to stitch these two pieces at the top and the bottom. Just got to stitch them to close them a little bit tighter, just so we get a nicer, when you stitch that, you get a nicer rounder and it just body, and it kind of wants to already like go in a circle and kind of, as I pinch it, see, it wants to just kind of close up. So you got to do that to the top and the bottom of both pieces, and then stitch the two pieces together to form the body. So I'm just going to get ready to stitch these. So I'm just going to stitch up, I said the top and the bottom, and the top and the bottom on that one, and then stitch them together. I'm just trying to see, stitch them all the way around. Yeah, once you get this halfway done, then you stuff it and stitch it completely. So, okay, so it's like we just stitch from here all the way around back up to here, leaving this part here open. Turn it right side and stuff it. So I will come back when I'm ready to turn it right side and stuff, just because I'm having a hard time sewing tonight. It's just this material is very, very soft, silky, plus we've got all this fur stuff on this side, and I'm just having trouble getting the needle to go through. Well, I'm not having trouble getting the needle to go through. I'm having a trouble where if I pull a little too tight, I'm actually pulling the knot right through the fabric. So it's kind of taking me a little bit longer to sew because I'm just kind of trying to get it done quickly, and I'm just pulling the thread too tight. So I will be back when I get these two pieces stitched. Actually, I'm going to, and then I figure then I might as well, might as well just sew all these pieces together. Then you've got the two hands. Okay, it is showing something that isn't in the kit. Unless it is and I just didn't see it. Yeah, it's asking for something that's not in the kit. Apparently, I'm gonna have to recheck everything and see, because it says there should be 4 of these pieces, 2 for the feet and 2 for the arms. Now I only see just the 2 for the feet. So unless this kit doesn't have it, you know, that could be something that they don't have in every kit. So it is from the dollar store, so you know, made in China, assemble yourself. Okay, well, I'm just not gonna wait. I guess I'll just come back to that part. So I'm just gonna work on sewing the body part. So I said I will be back when I get the 2 pieces stitched together, and I've got it ready to stuff the body and stitch the body to the head. All right, so I've got the body stitched together. So now I'm just going to turn it right side. The body seems kind of small for his size of his head. So, I don't know, I did something wrong. I don't know. Well, maybe once it's got the stuffing. So the next step is to stuff it. But I was looking at, because I got 2 instruction sheets, I was just trying to figure the arms and legs out. And it looks like I have 2 different, both these instructions are asking me to do steps with pieces that I don't have. So I'm just going to have to use a mix of the 2 instructions just to get to the, just to do what I have. Because the one is asking for the felt pieces for the arms and legs. I only have the ones for the legs. And the other piece, which I didn't even, the other instructions, I didn't even notice because didn't even flip it over. But it's supposed to have an extra step for the face. So I guess but the one that has the extra step for the face doesn't look like it has the extra felt pieces for the arms. The other one has no face piece and extra pieces for the arms, so mine's going to be an in-between. But even this, I mean, like, I've got the body stitched and everything and stuffed, and the body still looks really small. Body is smaller than the head. Now I'm trying to figure out, did I do something wrong? Just trying to read the head and see, did I do something wrong with the head? I don't know. So far it seems like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Okay, so now I just have to, put the body, stitch the body onto the head, just stuffing it, just adding some more stuffing, and now I just got to stitch the body and the head together. Just trying to figure this out. What did I do? I'm just trying to figure out why, you know, the head is like double the size of the body. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Although I think this head could use some more stuffing. So I'm just going to add some more stuffing into the head, and then just going to stitch the head and the body together. So that's what I'm going to work on. Yeah, this needs more stuffing now that I've got the ears in place and the face done. And of course I was pulling it and I kind of pulled some of the head stitchings apart, but that's okay. I will just go and stitch that back up, but it needs some more stuffing in here. There, now that looks like more of a rounded teddy bear face. So So I'm just gonna fix the head because I pulled the stitches apart right here. Just have to fix that. And I'm just gonna stitch the body pieces together, and I'm gonna stitch the head pieces back together and stitch the body together, and then just stitch. Oops, I can't even hold this together. I'm just gonna stitch those together. So I'll be back when I get this all stitched together, and then the next steps I'll be working on are the arms and the legs. I'm just trying to figure out why I have so many arm pieces. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, so I've got, okay, yeah, right, to the arm and the leg. Okay, the arms is the two pieces. That's what it is. Okay, just trying to figure this out because this one, he won't have any felt for the arm. So I'm just trying to figure the stitching out. So for the arm, I just have to stitch these pieces together. Just going to put the two pieces together, stitch from where the one piece is shorter than the other piece, because that looks like that's where I think I might be missing, or it might just be the way that it will end up stitching, or I mean, yeah, stitching on. So I'm just going to find the bottom parts where they're both rounded and attach them. And I'm just going to stitch the smaller piece onto the larger piece, just following one spot to the other, coming up around, leaving a space so I can, leaving this open here at the top so I can turn it inside out and stuff it. So I'm going to do both the arms while I'm stitching on the body and the head. I'm going to work on the two arms, and then the feet. And the feet have an interesting little thing. I'm just trying to, you have to do each foot separately. So you just fold the one of the foot in half, and then it looks like you just stitch along the one down and around, leaving this bottom open, and then this bottom part you stitch onto the felt. Now I'm going to actually stitch the felt on first, because I think it'd be easier for me to do that first. I'm not quite sure how to do that. Just gotta figure out how this foot, or it's gonna be longer, shorter. That's gonna be the part that I'm not sure how to do it, because it doesn't say how to do it. It just, when you get this built and you get this done, and then when you turn it the right side, then you're supposed to stitch this on. You're supposed to stuff it and stitch this on. Because I know kind of how it's supposed to go, I think I'm just going to end up, I think it's too big. I think this felt piece is too big. I'm wondering if I have to cut this felt in half. This just seems way too big for the foot. When I do that, I can't, there's no way that this whole foot could go around this. I'm thinking I have to cut these in half, because I'm looking at how much the arm is. So I'm just going to read both the instructions. So right now I said I'm just going to set the feet aside for a second, and I'm just going to work on fixing up the head where it kind of, stitching kind of came undone, stitching this together, and then stitching the head onto the body. And I'm going to start by stitching the arms together. So when I get all this done and I figure out the feet, then I will be back. Although the picture on here just shows this, the feet have the felt right here, just kind of, just his feet have the felt, not his arms. But still, I'm looking at the size of this piece of felt and the size of this leg is going to be. I still think this is just too much felt. I think it should be half that size. But anyways, I'll come back to that when I get this all done. So I'm just going to finish the head and the body and then do the two arms. All right, so I've got the body stitched onto the head, and I've got the two hands, the two arms made. I'm just gonna flip this one the right way. Got his two hands. Just ready to stuff these and stitch them together, and not stitch them together, stitch them onto his body. So they'll go like that. Now I'm starting to look like a bear, but I still think the body just looks too small for the size of head. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I always thought that the animals, I always thought the heads were the same size as the body. I don't know, maybe I did something different. I don't know, I'm just looking at these pieces here, so. Okay, I'm just gonna stuff, oops. Help if I actually got the stuffing in to the little hand instead of just, doesn't want to go in, it just keeps popping out on me. I'm just gonna try a smaller piece. There. Just get some stuffing in his hands. A little more stuffing in this arm here. I'm just going to get his arm stuffed, and I'll be just stitching those on in just a second. But now, next thing I gotta do is I gotta make his tail. Let's see, where is the instructions for his tail? It's not on that piece. Maybe it's on this one. Oh, that's where you do one of those stitches. I've never actually done one of those. I guess it's like a running stitch, and then when you pull it, you get a little pouch. I've never really done one of those, but that's what it looks like you do for his tail. So I'm gonna try that. I believe that's what it's called, a running stitch. It just says sewing stitch and pull tight to make the ball shape. So I will try this. So I have seen people do this where they just kind of go in and out, and then as you pull, it should start to come together to form a circle or to form a ball. I have never actually done this. I mean, I've done this by accident when I'm trying to sew, and I just kind of do the wrong thing, pull the wrong. I guess you're not supposed to pull tight till you're done. Okay. Just gonna undo some of that stitching just so I can get more around here. And now I'm just gonna grab some of the stuffing and hold it in place and pull this thread, and it should, I've got too much stuffing, and I should get a little ball as I pull this and stuff it and pull and stuff. I've got my thumb in the way there, and if I just put another little stitch and just pull that tight, and then right here you can kind of see where I've got a little gap. Oops. Got some stuffing coming out. Just do another little stitch, and there we go. I got a cute little pom-pom for his tail. Just got to do a little more stitching on this back side here. I can see it just I think I'm stitching and I'm not. I'm just getting all the fluffy stuff and I'm not getting any of the actual material part. This is tricky. There. There's his little tail. So I'm just gonna stitch his tail in place right now. It would be easier if I just kind of stitch his tail now before I attach the arms and the legs, but no, that actually is looking like a teddy bear's tail. There, he's now got his little tail. It's looking really good. Starting to actually look like something, not just a funny little, still the head to me still just looks like an owl. I mean, I'd be happy just to stop there and have a little owl, but just gonna finish stitching his tail in place. And now I just have to stitch up the hands and stitch them in place. I've got his tail stitched on. And I just have to stitch his arms finish closed and stitch them in place. I'll do his two arms. So I will be back when I get his arms stitched in place. I know his face looks all crooked. That's okay. I think I can fix his ear. I said this ear still just needs to be another little stitch in place because I can see where some of the stuffing is coming out. So that means I don't have it quite stitched on all the way, but I was just trying to get it kind of in the right place because I can always just add a few more stitches here and there. So I'm just going to stitch his arms in place. And then I will be back and I'll be ready to make his feet. Okay, now I've got his arms stitched on. He's got his ears. I was fluffing, playing around with his ears. This one is still, and I think I still don't quite have it right in the exact spot. I still think I have to kind of give it an extra couple stitches just so it's down a little further. I think that'll look better from the back. You know, the ears don't quite look quite right, so I'm gonna have to do some fluffing around, playing with the ears. This cute little tail. So now it's time for the feet. And this is where I am so confused because I don't think I can do this with the felt. I've looked at both the instructions that this came with, and it's so confusing because they both have pieces that this doesn't come with. So I think I might just stitch the feet. No, I think I might just enclose the whole, oops, sorry, not even in the camera, sorry. I'm trying to explain this. I think because you fold it in half and you're just supposed to stitch, I think I'm just going to stitch around, and when I fold out his feet, I'm just going to get his foot looking like that. I'm not going to worry about the felt tonight because I can always undo the stitches and do that another time. I mean, I'm looking at the clock. It's after 8 o'clock. I started this around 5:30, so it's already taken me quite a while to get this little bear sewn. So I think I'm just going to stitch his legs together, and I'm not going to worry about the brown felt because this piece is bigger than the whole foot. So I'm thinking these pieces are too big. I'm probably some way to make it smaller. I'm not quite sure how much smaller to make it. So I'm just going to set the felt aside and I'm just going to stitch his feet together. So I'm just gonna, I'll be back when I get his feet stitched just because it's taking so long. And this is gonna be a probably about an hour-long video for me just making this little bear. So I'm just gonna pause the last time. I'm just gonna stitch his 2 feet and I'll be back and we'll just get everything sewn, you know, his feet, you know, stuffed and sewn on, and then you'll be able to see what he completely looks like. Alright, so there's his little feet. I think the bottoms of her feet just look so cute even without the felt. Just the way that this material is cut and the way I had to stitch it. It kind of gives a really nice sole anyway, so I can even just take this if I wanted to another time and just take a little chunk of this. If I can just fold it just a little smaller, and I can just glue this on if I want to, but I kind of like the way this looks without the felt. So now I'm just going to grab some of this stuffing here. There's loose thread everywhere now. I'm going to grab some of the stuffing and just stuff his foot. And I'm gonna have to go and stitch his feet on, and then I get to choose which kind of ribbon. And I said the ribbon that came with him, I mean, it's a nice little piece of ribbon, but it just looks really cheap, and it's all, you know, like all wrinkled. And I've got some nice ribbon that I would prefer to use. So I went down and I grabbed all my Valentine's ribbons. I'm just going to decide which one I want to use. I'm just going to set the foot aside for a second just to show the different Valentine ribbons. I'm looking for the thin ones. So I have, these are all from, yeah, these are all from the Dollar Tree, I believe. No, that one says Michael's. I don't know. Now, this one's from Dollar Tree. These ones here, right? This Celebrate It. Those ones are from Michael's. I didn't buy them from Michael's. I buy my ribbon secondhand stores, garage sales, things like that. So these would have been in a big pack that I would have probably grabbed from Valley Village, probably for about $6 to $10. They'll put a bunch of ribbon in a bag, so I sometimes grab bags of them. So let's see this one. See, I can usually tell by the codes on the back and how many years I've had it. So these are from, these two here are from the Dollar Tree. And they both say the year 2009. Now, I don't think I know I have not had them that long, but that's just, I don't know why it says that. Huh. Makes me wonder where they went to first before, you know, they got sent to Dollar Tree. But this one has just got a whole bunch of, like, I think it's supposed to be like a monkey holding a heart. And this one says, well, it says, I picked you. I'm trying to read this. I picked you. These ones here, this one just says Happy Valentine's Day. And this one says, I love you this much. So I'll decide which one of these ribbons. Like, I was kind of leaning more towards this burlap one. I think it's, you know, just a little bit thinner for the bear. Looks a lot better than this extra big piece of ribbon one. I mean, although this is still nice, but I'm going to save that for another project. I also have this, where did I put it? I know I had a bow sitting here. Oh, I see it. I think this might be too big of a bow. Yeah, see, that bow is too big. Just a little bow. That one's just, it's too big. I couldn't tell when I saw it earlier. I'm like, it might fit given the size of this ribbon, but no, it's definitely too big. So now I'm just gonna stuff the feet and stitch them on, and I will be, because I said I didn't want to pause too many times, but you know, this is just going to be a really long video if I don't pause once more and just get these legs stitched on quickly. And I will be back and I'll tie on the ribbon, and you'll see the final reveal of this little bear craft. Okay, there's the little bear. His feet are attached mostly. They do need a couple more stitches, but I just want to get this done. So now there's his head and his body and his cute little tail. So I'm gonna fluff that up. I'm just gonna pull his tail up a little higher. When he sits down, he looks so cute. Now the bow, I said I was gonna do this ribbon, but it's, you know, he's already so dark. I decided to use the other ribbon. I have this one too, but even though the pattern here, the wording on here is like glittery, it's still like a burlap, so really dark. So I decided I'm going to give him the red bow. So this one says Happy Valentine's Day. Now, I always have trouble finding where these things start, so just sometimes I can find the little tape, sometimes I can't. Let's see. And when I cut, I like to know how close I was to the tape, and I cut right where the tape was. That's what I thought, but I couldn't see where it had started. I just got to decide how much ribbon I need to make him a bow. loose threads there. It's going to be a little bit too much, but that's okay if I just kind of gives me an idea of approximately how much I need. And this one's going to cut the half the word day. I always do that. If there's like a little bit of writing and you get like a partial words, I try to clip the extra words off, just looks neater. Find where the center of this is and just make a quick little bow for him. Because I know this will probably be too much ribbon, but that's okay. I want to make a nice bow. And that's not a very good tying job. I've got this looped funny. I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to tie bows. I think I just went. I hate when you flip it the wrong way and then you tie it upside down and then it just looks all wrong. There. And cute little bow. I like oversized bows on some things sometimes. This is still just doesn't want to work for me tonight. Just gonna squish his neck down a little bit. I'm just gonna see maybe if I just got too much ribbon. Yeah, just go with a smaller piece of this ribbon. Okay, now he's got a nice little bow. I'm just gonna trim that off, but it's still, I don't know, something with the way I'm pulling the ribbon. It's just, I don't know why. Maybe this stuff's in the way. I don't know. For some reason, it just wants to do that. So I'm just going to try once more to get a nice bow on here. There, that's a bit better. It still doesn't look right. I don't know. Maybe the ribbon's too thin. I'm just going to try with the ribbon that it came with. Maybe it's just me tonight. I can't seem to tie a bow that looks right. I don't know. Just okay, well, again, it must just be me. I can't seem to tie a bow tonight. Okay, so for whatever reason, I cannot tie a bow on him tonight. So I'm just going to do this. Find where the center is. Okay, that's the center. I don't know. I'm just... Well, now I've got the bow ready. Now just have to squish it over top of his head. Yeah, I just pulled that ear off. I knew it wasn't quite stitched all the way on, I could tell. And I was doing that. That ear was not quite stitched on, and I just pulled it. That's okay. Again, I cannot tie a bow tonight. Once more. And now I know the word's all upside down, but I just really got to figure out why I cannot tie a bow tonight. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want a bow. Maybe that's what he's telling me. He's like, I don't want a bow. Okay. Oh, he looks cute without it. So I'll probably just end up making one of my other bows that I always make, which is just, I take the ribbon, and that's probably part of it, is I've been making a lot of these bows where I just make the loops like this, hot glue them together, and then a smaller piece, and then you end up with all these little ribbon sections, basically. Just kind of hot glue it together. You get all these cute little ribbon sections all hot glued together. Like that. See, I know how to make these because this is what I make all the time. I just hot glue the ribbon together to get a nice cluster bow, and there. See, that will look cute. I guess that's what I will do. I will make him a bow because for whatever reason I cannot sew tonight, although I do have this ribbon here. It's already got the bow just because I think he'd look cute with a bow, and this is left over from a Christmas ornament. It still has the little twist tie thing on it. I'm just going to cheat for now because I'm not able to tie a bow on my Valentine bear, and this ribbon is too long, so I'm just going to trim it. I guess I'll use these scissors. I don't see my other smaller ones. That's okay. I'm just going to cut this kind of straight across, and then I'm going to dovetail it to the length that I want it. There. So I'll just do it that way. Oops, that didn't quite work as good. There, just dovetail the ends. There, he's got a nice little bow, and that looks so much nicer than what I would be able to do tonight. But there's my little, I said, yeah, I pulled this up when I was trying to do that, so I'll have to fix that. And I have to fix one of his feet. I know was kind of falling off too, because I was trying to get this done fast. But there is my little Valentine bear. Again, I'm going to say, this kit from the dollar store, $4. It says ages 6+. I'm going to say all the 6-year-olds I know are going to have a hard time putting this together. I know my own kids, being their ages, they would get frustrated trying to make this little bear. I mean, he looks cute. And this looks okay. I still think I probably just keep this part as an owl. I might just do that. I don't know, but I still think I'm gonna, next time at the Dollarama, I think I'll grab the sock monkey and see if I can make that one. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been subscribing to this channel, who's watching my videos. And please check out my other channel. It's called Beauty on a Budget with Heather G. And I will see everybody in my next video. Bye.